Hey, welcome to Hidden Indie Gems, where we embark on a journey into the vibrant world of indie gaming. Join me as we delve into the creative minds behind current and future indie games, uncovering what sets each one apart and makes it truly extraordinary. Today I got to talk to Shara Meredith. She's one of the game developers over at So Peculiar. They developed Bug and Seek, which is a charming 8-bit bug-catching simulator with a mysterious twist. It aims to evoke curiosity and wonder as you explore the adorable, colorful town of Bugburg, discovering and catching new bugs along the way. Now, this podcast has no sponsors and is 100% audience-funded. If you want to support my creative work, you can buy me a coffee using the link in the description. Every dollar makes a huge difference. Thank you, and enjoy the show. I know the dev team is you and your husband. I know there's a whole story about how you two came together. But how did you two decide, let's make a game, let's do game development?
Yeah. We'll fast forward to that part of the story. I started learning myself game design about 9 years ago. I was 31, stay-at-home mom, had 2 kids, and I like to play games just casually, but would not have considered myself a gamer necessarily. And my kids really got me into it. I could tell my oldest just really loved anything with a screen. He wanted to be a big time, Minecraft YouTuber when he was really, really young. So he got me into games, and then he asked me one day for a big kid game for a 5-year-old, and I didn't know what that meant. But that question just spiraled in my brain, sent me down a rabbit trail of Googling and eventually meeting game developers and going to some conferences and trying to figure out what is this all about, and really just fell in love with game design as an art, as a creative outlet. There's so many skills involved in making a game that it really just inspired me. And so I started making a project that I thought was for my kids, and I think really probably was more for me. And now I just want to do it full time. That's my full-time job at this point.
So cool. So when did your husband come into the picture?
A couple of years ago, he was an attorney for about 12 years. So, we were just very fortunate that I could play with game design and not have any pressure there to make anything that would feed our family, because he was doing that on his own. And then he was just getting really burnt out and needed a change. And so we talked and prayed and decided I think it's time for us to do something different. And so he came on board full time. He's been writing. He loves to write. So he was writing a fiction book, and then he decided, why don't I write all the content for the game and help out with some of the artwork? And he really took over that aspect of it and I thought he did a great job, especially coming from corporate legal work. So it's been a really big shift for both of us, and has been so much fun over the last 2 years.
Let's talk about the game then. So it's called Bug and Seek. What kind of game is it?
We call it a cozy bug catching simulator, creature collector. The heart was to capture that feeling of when you're outside and you flip over a rock or a log and you see what's under there. My 7-year-old, he was 7 at the time, is my younger son. He went through a bug phase where he just wanted to memorize bug facts and go outside and find things. And we would record videos sometimes for a YouTube channel that was never made. But I'd send them to friends and family. And there was something about that moment of, are we going to find something here? And what is it going to be, that I thought was really fascinating, and started thinking, what if we could capture that in a game? And so we took our inspiration from nature, and we used real life bugs. So there are up to 220 real life bugs in the game that you can discover and collect and add to your bug museum.
Let's talk a little bit about how the game works. So what are the mechanics of the game?
The primary mechanic is very simple. It's a very much like Animal Crossing's bug catching mechanic. That was my favorite part of that game. So you really just you run around, check objects. If there's a bug, it'll pop out. You catch it. There's a little bit of skill mastery, leveling up as you catch insects in different categories. You level up each category. So we tried to pace it so that that feeling of discovery would be there, even if you've invested 10 hours in the game. There will still be something new to uncover. We tried to pace it so that there would still be something new to uncover, even if you've invested several hours in the game. And and then there are some other things like jobs that you can accept where you are trying to find a certain number of bugs found in a particular place, like bushes or the meadows or the wetlands. But everything is about the bugs. And that was something we decided early on was, we could do a lot of, you could have a house, we could do some farming or some other very similar cozy mechanics, but we really just thought the bugs need to be the stars of the show. And so in every part of the game, we tried to make that the case. So quests are always with bugs, and the storyline is even a mystery involving the bug theft. A year ago, there was a robbery, and Spectarium was wiped out. And so the story of the game is even to solve the mystery of who would steal all the bugs.
What is the experience that you're hoping players get from the game?
I love when a game makes me feel better after I put it down. Um, I love games for a good escape. I'm a mom with two kids and I work full time, so I definitely need some time to just go in another world for a little bit. But I also think games have this other great ability to highlight things that we don't always see in real life. And so our hope for Bug and Seek was that people put it down and feel a little more curious and a little more interested in nature around them, have this maybe renewed appreciation for the bug world and the insect kingdom. And there's just so much to learn out there. And so our hope is really that maybe they grab a little nugget from the game and want to go explore it in real life.
I saw there's a warning this game might make you want to go play outside.
Yes, and we've been told by some of our players that they get excited now to go outside and find some of the things that they've seen in the game, which is just, it's so awesome. That makes me feel so good.
Yeah, I guess the fact that it's real bugs.
There were some that we researched specifically for the game that I had never seen in real life. But now, since making the game, I've seen them and I was like, oh, I think I know what that is because we drew that and we caught it in the game. Yeah, it's really fun.
You said you did this in part at first, it was for your kid. What has been your kid's experience?
Yeah, so it's funny when I started making games, they were 5 and 2. Now they're 13 and 10. So, we've entered the teen years. So nothing mom does is ever cool at this stage. Like we just can't get out of that hole. So he's playing games that are way cooler than mine, and that's totally fine. They are really, I think, really encouraging and sweet. They're good kids. It's really fun to be able to enter this space with them and hear their feedback on things. They will play the game and give me really brutally honest feedback on what's fun and what's not, and that's really helpful. It's fun to see them even at games conferences and places when we travel and show the game and hear their feedback on other people's things, and they're just, I mean, this is who they're part of our audience. They're part of who we're making it for. So I think giving them that voice in what we're doing has been really, really cool as a mom, to have their influence in that space, and as a developer to have that like really close feedback all the time.
If you have game developer parents, you would think that's the one thing that a 10 and a 13-year-old might say, this is actually cool. My parents are cool. It's like, nope, nope.
No, we're still mom and dad. Can't do it. And that's how it should be. That's okay.
Well, so the last question is just where can people go and find more about your game? I know there's a Switch release in like a few days.
Yes, June 14th, we're releasing on Switch. I'm so excited. I think the easiest place to find out more is bugandseek.com. So BUGANDSEEK.com. That's our landing page with our mailing list sign up, and you can see the latest release information there. We hope to do a mobile release in the fall, so that'll be coming too. And just whatever capacity the two of us have to keep going and creating more opportunities for people to play, that's where you can find that information.
Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss a single episode. Leave a review, share with your friends. See you next time.